Hello everyone. So today I wanted to talk about again Gabby Petito's murder, and my question is, was it motivated by money? The thing is, why I'm saying that is because I just found out that Brian came back home from Salt Lake City on August 17. He said he wanted to empty their locker, like storage locker, because something was like they were like short of on money or something. That's kind of odd. I don't know. That's really strange. Because we know Gabby had money on her bank account. Yeah, that is very strange to me. They got into a fight. To my knowledge, they haven't seen each other from July 12th to July 23. I think he flew back to Salt Lake City on August 23rd. So yeah, and he went back. That storage locker was not only Gabby's but his as well, and I'm thinking, I actually don't know if he was working, but I assume he wasn't working and he was kind of taking money from Gabby. Like, I have this kind of feeling, this vibe that all of the family wasn't really fond of Gabby at all. Like, to me, they come off as people that have zero feelings. There are too many cases where husbands kill their wives for money, puts the insurance on them, then they kill them, And this kind of very odd, So yeah, and the thing is, like, okay, I will tell you what I'm thinking. My theory is that they got into a fight, Gabby wanted to get away from him, or she was planning to leave him. I'm thinking what she told to her parents on 25th when she was talking to her mom. And her dad was saying that he was talking to her on August 21st. I wonder if she was telling them that they have problems, or maybe she wanted to leave him, because once she died, the first thing he did was to take her Apple Watch and take her and empty her bank account. So I think maybe she was planning to leave him, and if he used her for her money, he knew he couldn't get any money from her anymore, so he killed her, took her money, and just vanished. No, it's kind of hard to hear this, but these days people kill for $1, for $10. So he took over $1,000, so I don't know. It really seems heartless, but as we saw in the police video, he was a very manipulative guy, and he of course didn't love her. It seems this whole family is heartless and have zero feelings. And the thing is, I wanted to go on Google, and there is a Fuller City in Georgia, uh, the picture of, I think, Brian Laundrie, Puller, how to write, yeah, this one. This man was wanted for, yeah, Puller police looking for a man wanted for financial transaction card fraud, and this was published on September 21st, and I think on September 24 they said that Brian Laundrie got a charge for the same offense. Why I think it's Brian Laundrie? Because of this tattoo you can see here. Outward, legs, face kind of like him. He has this kind of wrinkle around his mouth in this area, kind of here. You see, he is not bald anymore. See, he has hair now. In the police video, he had no hair. So if you look for a man, he is not bald anymore. So, and also look at the tattoo. He also has a tattoo on his right arm, I think. On his, like, on the side of his hand, like in this area. On this hand he has like a palacio, a mountains, and on the, I think, middle finger, or the second finger from the right side, he has this leaves. So yeah, that's definitely him, but strange fingers. I wonder. He said on August 28th, from Teton National Park to Buller, Georgia, there's too much of a distance. Buller, Georgia. That's here. And if we go to directions, Grand Teton National Park is somewhere here. Yeah. So she was found near Yellowstone Lake, no. National Forest. No, this is Bridge Teton. There was Grand Teton, yeah. That is a Snake River, so she was found somewhere, I guess somewhere here. Somewhere near Snake River, I think. This is Highway 89, 826. So let's say she was found, I'm not sure, somewhere near Snake River, I'm not sure. Let's look at this, maybe 3D view would be, there are these mountains. Let's see, she was found somewhere here. Or maybe here, but no, I don't think so. So there should be a campground somewhere around this area. So maybe it's somewhere here. No, should be like gravel road. Oh, there's this river. I wonder, where was it? Jackson Hole. Maybe this is the same river. I'm really not sure where she was found. Let's see where she was found. Was found on trail. Okay. Which date is it? October 5th. Oh, today's date. Flew back to Salt Lake City, Utah. And, okay. 3 hours ago. Okay, let's see. Okay, this was Can we get an exact location? Camping area. Oh, the remains were found in the area of Spread Creek, dispersed camping area. Bridge or Teton? Oh, I thought it was in Grand Teton. But yeah, it's quite close. Yeah, I was kind of right. Let's see. Bridge Teton National Forest. I guess it was somewhere here. Let's say Spread Creek. Could we find it? Wyoming? Where was it? Spread Creek. Oh, it is here? So I basically... Spread Creek. Okay. And I guess where was the camping area, I wonder? Spread Creek. So maybe if we were going to this gravel road, here, maybe this way. See, there are these. Okay, let's see if there is any kind of. Oh, so these are like mountains. I wonder where it was. Was it like... Oh, there is this. Oh, so it might be somewhere here. That road. Okay. So, okay, from this area to Bullard, Georgia is 32-hour ride. So I'm 100% sure it's Brian, but how he ended up in this area in less than 24 hours? I guess he took the... That's why I think parents are lying. Yeah, because it was on August 28th. He couldn't have gone to this place in 24 hours. It's no way. Even if he drove without any breaks. It's like 31-hour drive, yeah. Without traffic, 31 hour. Yeah, so I would guess he flew back home and for some reason it must be him. You see this tattoo? Have you seen anyone having this tattoo? Same clothing. Yeah. And he is holding his arms like this, like in police camera. Like he always holds his hands like this in this position. These legs are down to side, goes to sides. So I guess that's very odd. It must be him. No, I don't know. Oh, let's look at his ear. I wonder, like, okay, let's look at his ears. But that's so strange, like, how he came to this area in 24 hours. This man, look at his ear. I don't know. The eyebrow is going like up. I don't think so. Okay, let's look at his ear. Let's look at this picture. No, it's kind of, well, I couldn't tell by this here. Like, have you seen anyone having a tattoo at the same exact place? Same walk, same clothing, same shorts, everything. So I think what if he flew to Georgia and then came back home with a bus or something? So that would tell me that somebody took the van. Yeah, because he couldn't go. Oh, but wait, there is a difference. Yeah, like, what is the time difference between... Wait. So it's how much? 2,000 miles, so there is like 2-hour difference. There's 2-hour difference, so let's say 29 hours. That van was seen, I think, on 6 p.m. on 27th. Very odd, but it must be him because of this tattoo, you know. I wonder if this cap is like black or is it in blue like in this picture. That's very odd. So somebody had to take this van, maybe his family, because he was in Georgia already the next day. He couldn't have drove a van in 29 hours. No way. Unless this was taken, but I see that this is a day. Do we have like more pictures? That means somebody took the van. Yeah, so I don't buy that he came back on September 1st. No way. Puller, card fraud. Okay, so it was reported on a few sites. Is this the same site? Oh, this Fox. Yeah. So yeah, that was my... Okay. So Petito's friend said that he suffered from jealousy and control problems and experienced episodes where he heard voices and couldn't sleep. Rose Davis, 21, from Sarasota, described Laundrie as controlling and manipulative boyfriend. In one incident, he stole Petito's ID, so she couldn't go to the pub with her. Petito had described a strange episode to Davis that sometimes forced Petito to sleep at her house. He suffers from jealousy and he struggles with that. Gabby called these episodes where he would hear things and voices and not sleep, she told the outlet. Gabby had to stay at my house a number of times because she just needed a breather and didn't want to go home with him. Yeah, like he's a very odd guy. Mumbling, his speech is not very clear. Rose Davis claims Brian Laundrie didn't want Gabby to have friends in Florida. I'm a little upset that she didn't just call me after the fight, because she would have done that before. Petito has not been seen since August 30. No, like the last day she was saw it was August 27. So yeah, that's very strange. Somebody else took the van, because if he was in Puller City on 28th and did this card fraud. Oh, here is another article. So I'm sorry I couldn't read it because okay. So there is a Petito's family's interview on Dr. Phil. Oh, this is 30-minute video. I haven't seen this before.
I think you're gonna wanna see this. Watch me now. Make it say ooh, make it say wow. Watch.
So let's
Today in an
turn on
exclusive,
my
we talked to Gabby's
ad block.
family about her life, what they hope for her legacy, and the ongoing hunt for Brian Laundrie. Well, thank you guys for sitting down. So
I will cut some, not cut, but stop at these moments and comment if you, and say what I think.
everyone knows, I've introduced the audience to Joe, to you, and Tara. You're Gabby's biological father, and you're the stepmother, but you have been involved in Gabby's life since she was 1?
Since she was 1, yes.
Yeah, so you've been very active in her life.
Yes.
And then, Nicole, you're the biological mother. And Jim, you've been involved how long?
Since she was 2.
Since she was 2.
Yeah.
So everybody here has been involved parent-wise for really her whole life.
Yeah.
And also, I want to introduce Richard Stafford. You're the attorney that has helped these guys navigate this very difficult terrain. And I want to say Richard has been terrific to work with, so thank you very much for taking your time to be here. And thanks for all you're doing for these guys as well, because this is a difficult time, and to have someone objective that kind of stays on top of everything takes a huge load off of them. Would you guys agree that he's...
Absolutely.
Very
It was unreal, so he's done a tremendous job for us.
Stepped right up.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
we appreciate you and appreciate your being here. Joe, let me start with you. When you and I last spoke, which I was sorry for the occasion.
You know, my insight would be like, her father left her and her mom when she was 1 year old. Like, yeah, that would tell me that he's kind of narcissistic guy too, and he's like likes attention a lot, so maybe Gabby was seeking this type of toxicity in other men too. I don't know, but that's kind of, it gives me this type of feeling.
Asian, but have to say I felt an immediate bond with you, just kind of dad to dad and man to man. At that point, we didn't know about Gabby's fate.
No.
And since that time, tragically, we do know her fate. We know that she's gone. And I think when we talked, you and I we pretty much knew that the chances were pretty slim that it was going to be a good outcome.
So I wasn't naive to the fact, you know, and we were just hoping, you know, of something, some type of scenario that was just wild, that, you know, but we still had a job to do. You know, we had to find her, we had to bring her home, and we completed that task, you know. So.
And how did you learn the news? How did it actually get to you that she had been found?
Jim was in Wyoming. He's the one that was there, and
I just wanted to check, where is the Spirit Creek Road? I don't know if it's on the map even. Spirit Creek Road. Road. Oh, so it was here? Oh, so sorry. Spirit Creek Road. You know, that family was going through these woods. Oh, so I guess the van was somewhere here. Maybe they. Well, I wonder where they came from. Like, it looks like there is a campsite. You see it here, here. So I'm wondering, where they going? These are the ranch. This is the Spirit Creek Road. They were going. There were trees. There were more trees by this road where the van was found on the video, and oh, so we couldn't go here. Interesting. I don't see any campsites, to be honest, here. Or maybe it was a little bit more further. Spirit Creek, where is Spirit Creek? So Spirit Creek must be here, okay. Here. And it goes to this. Is Spirit Creek here as well or not? Okay, the cars are going here. Is this Spirit Creek as well? Here. I wonder. It must be, I think, no? Oh, this is... Yeah, here is Spirit Creek. Maybe this is Spirit Creek as well. Here, this. I'm not sure. This is Forest Road. No, so she was found somewhere. Elk Ranch Reservoir. Is it? No, this is Anon Road already. It's Anon Road. Oh, okay, is this here? Spirit Creek Road is ending this area. Interesting. I wonder where the car was found. There were so many trees. So maybe the van... No, this is the highway. They were going to this campsite. It's strange. They stopped maybe here somewhere. I'm not sure, but I think she was already dead when the van came by their van. Interesting. Okay.
He, I guguess there was some clothing that was identifying and stuff, and
But was it Jim that called you?
yeah,
We got on a conference call.
yeah, we've
All of you did?
Yep. So I was in Florida, Nikki was in New York, Jim was in Wyoming. Like, we tried to strategically place ourselves to best suit what the FBI was asking for. And like I said, we've always been a team. So Jim was there, and when they found her, they had some identifying stuff. And then Jim got on a call with us, and that's what he told us.
Jim, you had gone to Wyoming and stayed there because you felt like she was going to be found there and you felt like somebody needed to be there.
Yeah, it was just something, deep down that I knew she was there, and just going off the information that we had, we felt that somebody had to be there. And I said right away that I would go, and we felt we needed to put our family out there so we could show that we're here trying to do what we can.
When you were there, where were you when they found Gabby, and how did they tell you?
We received a call from the FBI that they had some information that they wanted to share with us. And the hotel we were in was very gracious to accommodate us, and they gave us a conference room quite a few times to meet in with some privacy. There was the two people from the FBI that had called, and we could see out the front window, and I saw basically the one agent coming in pretty quickly because they wanted to speak to us before it got out, and they wanted to make sure that we were notified and we were aware that they found remains consistent of what they believed to be Gabby before we heard it from anybody else.
And when did they show you the article of clothing?
They described a piece of clothing to me that matched one of her favorite sweatshirts that we knew was hers.
So at one point they presented you with some identifying information so you could verify that it was
Yes.
her.
If I can add, it was from a local shop,
It was a
so that
local
we
shop.
knew it was her.
It was her.
Yeah.
And there was at least 4 people in that area that were missing around the same time. One of those persons actually has also recently been found, but there was another girl out there who would closely match the description of Gabby, so that's why they wanted to be very careful about saying we found remains and before the coroner can positively identify.
So you had to make this call to Nikki, her mother, and Joe and Tara.
Yeah.
That had to be the hardest call of your entire life.
Yes. We were all crying in the room. Couldn't believe it because we were holding out for hope. I knew what we were potentially going to find when we came here, and I felt that it was my responsibility to make that call, and I was able to compose myself, and we got everybody on a conference call, and
That is such a nice
able
looking
to-
view,
to relay it.
And to die in such a place by the person you knew for I don't know how many years. It's like this is sick.
To everyone.
Nikki, what did he say to you when you were on that call? What do you
He
remember?
said that they found remains, and we knew it was Gabby, even though we were hoping it wasn't. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to listen to, and it didn't hit me right away, and for a few seconds. But I knew she was gone. As a mom, I knew she was gone.
You're just instinctually, you knew.
Mm-hmm.
And at what point did your mother's intuition tell you that she was gone?
I didn't want to admit it, but I felt it the night I found out the van was in Florida on the 11th. I felt in my heart that she was gone.
Just you knew then. Tara, what went through your mind when you heard this?
At first, I didn't want to believe it. I think my body just went into shock. It took me a minute, and then you break down. You just fall and cry and just. It's hard. horrible. Just horrible, horrible, horrible. Because you have all this hope that maybe she will be found, and you know that it can happen, and it's horrible.
At that point, it hits you, and then the questions start pouring. You know, how did this happen? Why did this happen? What could have been done? You know, what did you miss? You start asking yourself a million questions, of course. What did you say to yourself, Joe?
Listen, I can Monday morning quarterback this all day long. You know, maybe if I pushed harder, you know, to not do it or plan better, or there's really, she's 22. This is not a 14-year-old girl, you know, going on a school trip here. You know, she's an adult, and she's got to make her decisions. So we respected her decisions.
Yeah, like, if I was a mother, I wouldn't let my girl to go alone with some man on a trip throughout the whole America. I actually don't know if they knew this man very well. Her stepfather said that he was like polite, but you know, as we saw in this police video, he's kind of pretending. I don't like this. He likes to tell tales. You know, like, he's very manipulative, and I just don't like him. If I was her mom, I don't know, I would observe him more. I don't know, I would even bug my daughter's room or something, because like, if I'm feeling bad about the person, you know. But of course, like, these people didn't see the signs.
Tried to, all of
that her daughter was abused or anything like that. You know, they could have asked her. Or you know, her friend said Brian had issues, so she could have told her parents about that he was like possessive, jealous, took her ID card, because if they knew, he probably got this man from her life.
us tried to best prepare her, and she knew what she was doing. This is not like she decided to, you know, yesterday that she's going on a 3-month trip here, you know. She planned this for a while, for like a year and a half, and that made me feel more confident. And anything that I think about in terms of changing it, it's just gonna make me go down that rabbit hole, and that's just not gonna help me either.
I mean, you can play what if we'd done this, what if we'd said that, what if we'd done this, what if we'd have seen that. And that is a rabbit hole, and it's a bottomless rabbit hole. There's no way you can ever come up with enough answers to satisfy yourself. At this point, you still don't know exactly what happened, right? You still don't have the results of the autopsy at this point. You don't know how this happened.
No.
Is there any doubt in your mind who caused her death?
We've been told by the FBI that it's a homicide.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say, to be honest. I'll leave that for the authorities and stuff to figure out, but she's gone. And to me, and I'm not gonna speak for everyone here, but to me, I need to find meaning behind it. That can't be in vain. It can't be a meaningless death. I won't let that happen. I'm not gonna let him take her name in vain. So, I gotta find some some positive things that have come from this. Because otherwise I will go down that rabbit hole, and I can't have that happen.
How do you feel about it?
I'm angry. I know who the last person was that was with her. I can't point fingers until we know for sure, but...
Well, let's talk about what you do know for sure, because we don't know what happened, but we do know that Brian Laundrie came home in her van without her and didn't tell anybody. That's a fact. I mean, that we know. He didn't call you.
No, he didn't tell
you.
us.
He didn't tell you guys.
I don't know if he told anyone, but he didn't tell us.
That's what I'm saying. The four of you here, he didn't tell anybody here.
As far as we knew, our daughter was camping in...
We don't know what happened, but we do know that Brian Laundrie came home in her van without her. How do you square that in your mind? Is that why you're angry?
Yes.
I mean, obviously you're angry that she's gone, but and you don't know what he did or didn't do, but you do know that he came home without her and didn't tell anybody.
It's infuriating.
We deserve answers.
You do deserve answers.
Yeah, like, this is so sick. He kills her, takes her van, takes her money, takes her Apple Watch, allegedly, and like all his family is avoiding Petito family, don't answer any calls, anything. It's like only explanation would be that they all four plan her murder. I'm talking about Laundrie parents and sister. I just can't understand that.
And to pretend that that's not infuriating is disingenuous, of course. And you do know, at least his parents have said he did come home. None of you saw him in the house, but you know at least his parents have.
Look at him. This is the camera from August 12th, when he was allegedly abused. He was like a better man. Look at him. He's laughing manically, like a maniac. There was definitely something wrong with him. Look at him. Police stops him. He's laughing all the way. Wow. I think at this point he knew he could do anything to Gabby and he wouldn't get caught. And sadly that's true, you know. If he didn't kill her, like, why you need a lawyer? Why all the family would be hiding, you know, like, of course.
Said he did come home. None of you saw him in the house, but you know his parents said he came home.
Well, the van had to get there somehow.
That's right.
The van got there, and whatever happened with his parents after that, I don't know. But
We can only speculate. We don't know.
yeah, I honestly don't know. And to be honest with you, they probably wouldn't tell the truth to begin with. So whatever.
Joe and Nicole both called Roberta asking if...
Not just
Called
Yeah,
and text.
Roberta. Any phone number I get for that family. There were a couple numbers for the
Police
mom.
officers called her. Detectives called her.
But you all called.
Yes.
Oh, we
You
called.
called, you called, you called.
I can't tell you how many times.
She called.
You called and you
He
called.
called.
People say like, oh, maybe Brian told his family that Gabby went home to New York. But like, why would she go home without her van? Really, like, he would have taken the plane, you know, because this was her van. Like, let's say if we broke up, she would have taken the van. And they took the van, took her things, everything. So it seems like they were all after her money. It's like they took most as they could, you know. I just don't understand, you know. And also, if they, okay, let's say Brian said like, oh, we broke up or anything, then like, why don't you answer the phone for 3 days and lawyer up straight away? They knew what he has done, and it was like they agreed to it, like, oh, you killed her, good job, you know. This is insane. I just, wow, this family is like from some horror movie, I'm telling you.
And what did you get?
No response.
Voicemails.
Nothing.
Voicemails.
Then I would send texts on top of that.
No response.
One of the texts, I mean, we're going to call the police, right? You know, just letting you know, because we have no idea. No responses. No, a normal parent, when you text someone that they're going to call the cops because you can't find your child, they would reply.
Nothing.
No response, no nothing.
So he leaves with your daughter in her van,
Yeah, sick people. Like, don't even pick up the phone. I just don't know. Like, and there was the drone video that was going over Brian Laundrie's house, and their parents, his mom was gardening. Like, there were like 2 or 1 person in the pool. They were cleaning the pool. Like, nothing has happened. You know, like, we're happy. This is so sick. I don't know.
Comes back without your daughter in her van, and you contact the parents and say, what the hell? Give us some information. Stonewall.
We actually didn't
Well,
know
at
the
that
van
point,
was in
yeah.
Florida at the time when we contacted her. I was just worried I hadn't heard from her. So
You didn't even know
I
the
didn't
van
know
was
about
back.
the van until the
didn't know
11th.
that.
We actually thought they were both missing at that point in time when we were calling them.
I was worried about both of them.
And when did you learn the van was back?
The night of the 11th, when I reported her missing, the detective came to my door and let me know that the van was in Florida.
That's when you said you knew bad news.
Well, it was a combination of that and that he requested to speak to a lawyer and wouldn't speak to the
Yeah.
police department.
Lawyered up, no cops.
Correct.
Well, to be honest, we don't even know if he did that. That's what the parents did. That's what they did. They had papers at the door, handed it to whoever knocked on the door, talked to the attorney.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not how you parent.
You think they owed you an answer?
I think they owe me more than that. You know, I'm a dad. I make my kids stand up for their decisions. You know, if they make a mistake, I'll help you. I'll walk you through that path, but you're gonna own up to your mistake, because that's what a parent does, not what they're doing. I'm sorry.
Do you think they know where he is now? If they do, you believe they should pick up the phone and tell you?
Somebody needs to start talking. I do believe they know a lot more information than they're putting out there.
We all want to protect our children. It's understandable. But it's also more important to teach your children right from wrong. And when something is wrong, you need to do the right thing and have them own up to it, whatever it may be, whatever the consequences may be. And that is part of being a parent.
And this is about a woman that lived in their house, that was at one point engaged to their son. And they won't talk to their family. They won't reach out and explain that their daughter's missing. They ignore the phone calls.
Yeah, that's the thing. These parents, and I'm glad you brought that up, because these parents had a relationship with Gabby.
It's not a stranger.
They lived under the same roof. They shared their home. They shared their lives with this.
Yeah, this is like very odd. That's why I would. I just. It's like they abuse Gabby as well. Because, like, you would only do this thing if you hate this person. She's dead, and you're like, oh, that's amazing, we got rid of her, you know. I see no other explanation. It's like all of them hated her. Because, like, I don't know, this is so sick. Or maybe Brian said, like, she was beating me, she took this from me, but I don't know. Like, how can you side with your son? Like, I don't get it.
This young woman, and then all of a sudden just turn their back and stonewall, and that's cold. And I have a question for you as a defense lawyer here.
Yes.
Because, you know, I worked for years, mostly on the defense side of the docket, at a jury level, in trial. And I always look at what's the story you're going to tell the jury ultimately. Is a parent helping a child by furthering and covering up a really bad deed instead of advocating for the child to step up and be accountable? Is that not a better jury presentation instead of hiding, going on the run, stonewalling police, obstructing? How is that good parenting? It doesn't seem to me that they're creating a narrative that any jury is going to do anything except be infuriated by.
Correct. They're not helping their son at all. That when you look as a prosecutor, we don't know what happened here. Now, I'm sure the FBI has a lot more evidence than we have. You can look at his state of mind by his actions. And he ran, he stole her credit card, he used her credit card to get home, and then ran from the police. That's gonna show a lot what he was thinking back then.
I'm hoping the parents are watching this because everything he's doing is making him look more and more guilty, more and more culpable, more and more insidious than any other thing he could possibly be doing. It's showing no remorse, it's showing no empathy. Everything he's doing is to his detriment right now.
Correct. And again, I don't know what story he's gonna try to tell, but it's not gonna make any sense when you put it together with his actions from that moment forward. That he's running, that he's hiding, that he's trying to deceive everybody around him.
And people who have nothing to hide, hide nothing. So why not be completely transparent?
I'll even take a little bit of hazy, you know? I mean, if you get transparent, I mean, they're not gonna do that, but I mean, it's just a black, there's nothing there. They got nothing, and they're not gonna start now, I'll tell you that.
And nothing's gonna bring her back, but you feel like you're entitled to answers, that it helps you to know, to complete the story, to complete the circle, if you know what happened and how and why. It helps you know.
I feel like I need to know.
Part of the closure.
It's like if you could orchestrate a bad strategy for everybody involved, this is it.
Correct.
And I'm hoping they're listening to this. I hope that they are listening right now to say, we're not helping anybody here. We're not helping Brian. We're not helping ourselves. We're not helping Joe and Tara. We're not helping Jim and Nikki. We're not helping anybody here. We're being destructive at every possible turn for everybody involved.
But I don't think they're gonna listen. They didn't help us find Gabby. They're not helping us find Brian.
We couldn't find Gabby. What did we do to find Gabby? I mean, we did anything to find Gabby. We talked to everyone we could, get on as many cameras as we could. What did they do to find Brian? They called the cops, haven't done a thing since. I haven't seen them on any TV shows find Brian. Why do you think that is? We couldn't find.
Yeah, of course we know where he is. Like, come on. There were seen like a few people said they saw Brian, but I really don't think he's like out. And you know, I just don't know. I really think that he is hidden by his sister, by his parents somewhere. There were people saying that he went live accidentally and he was on the boat, but I would love to see this video. I don't know if it's true or not, so I couldn't confirm, but maybe he's in near Tampa where they live. I think they live in Tampa somewhere near. And I think maybe he's on a boat and his parents just bring him food and he's just on a boat in some shore. Because like, so I would love the police to get a warrant to search all boats near Florida. Of course, like you couldn't do that if this person isn't a suspect, but like, you know, like there should be a way, you know, or at least go get a warrant and search their boats, his sister boats. She has like a boat business or something. Like there should be a way to find him. I bet he's hidden somewhere. So sad. Maybe they have like a panic room in their house. Like, who knows?
Gabby.
But you could tell that they are not concerned about anything. I would love the cops to put him all in jail, you know.
What did we do to find Gabby? I mean, we did anything to find Gabby. What did they do to find Brian? I haven't seen them on any TV shows find Brian. Why do you think that is?
Well, there's two reasons, of course, that are obvious. Number one is they already know where he is. Number two, they don't want him found. Is there another explanation? If there is, somebody tell me, because I don't know. I've done jury trial after jury trial after jury trial, criminal, civil. every possible way. I'm telling you, I would never advocate for this strategy ever, under any theory whatsoever. It just tells me that these people are on self-destruct. And I'm sorry for you guys that you're having to live with that.
That is such a sinister family. I wonder if they met their Brian's parents or haven't. Maybe I should tweet to these people. Her mom has an account, but I don't know if they would respond to my tweet. Like, did they ever talk to his parents, or like, I just don't know. Like, my theory is like, maybe Gabby's parents were rich people and they thought, okay, you could say it's a stretch, but like in the history there were too many cases where people would do that, sell their kids for money and do anything. So maybe if they use her to get money, you know. That's only explanation, because they definitely hated her. I just don't know. Such a disgusting, devilish family, like, just nauseating. I can't.
Deal with that because somebody is not being realistic here.
It's almost like living in a soap opera. Like it's just a bad show. Like, you don't think things like this would happen in real life. It's unfathomable. It really is.
It's an emotional roller coaster.
It makes no sense.
Our emotions are already all over the place, and now this just plays with them.
And they have the key, and then
They threw the key away.
they don't care.
Let me ask you guys for your opinion, and you have an opinion, and you're entitled to it. I think at first, many people thought that Brian was so distraught that he went off and killed himself, took his own life. Do y'all now 100% believe that he is out there hiding somewhere? You believe he's hiding somewhere? You believe he's hiding somewhere? Do you believe he's hiding somewhere?
I do.
Why do you believe that?
Because he's a coward. Flat out. I'd use some other words, but I can't use them on your show. He's a coward.
He's too coward to kill himself, too coward to come forward.
Yep.
He's just on the run.
Anyone that lived in that house is a coward. And they don't know how to stand up for their actions. They are.
Where do you think he is likely at? You know him. You know what he is, does, knows. Is he living off the land somewhere?
Possibly.
Does he have that skill set?
I believe so.
I mean, is he an environmentalist, survivalist type? I mean, he knows camping, knows...
I believe he bragged about that, like that he was good at that stuff.
So he's likely in the woods or the mountains or somewhere, somehow, living that way?
Somewhere
Possible.
off the beaten path somewhere. Just thinking he's not going to get caught, I guess, or
it'll just go away. I don't know.
yeah.
The reason I ask that is because every market that's big enough to have a television station, we're on in right now. So if everything that we can say that helps people to know where to pay attention helps. So knowing that he does brag about being able to camp and fish and live in the woods and off the land and stuff like that, people have cameras up. You got millions of eyeballs and cameras.
It worked with Finding Gabby.
Yes.
People go on these trips, people take photos, videos.
But you know, even if you take pictures, and like, if I was camping, I would get a few guns. Like, you don't know where Brian is. There are also so many wanted people for murder and everything else. So in the United States, I would be afraid to be out without a gun. I wouldn't even go out, you know. to the wilderness unless there are like 20 people with me. And we're on the bus, we have money, fuel, everything, food. Because like this is so dangerous. Really, like, you know, if Brian gets caught, he might kill people. Yeah, he might. He already killed. Maybe he even killed before and his parents covered for him. Like, nobody knows. So he is definitely a dangerous person. Psychopath, I don't know, maniac. He heard these voices. He was obsessed with dark things, gore, and this disturbed individual. So, like, if you're living alone in the woods, please get a gun and, well, I would be scared, really. He could be anywhere, in California, in Colorado, in Wyoming, in Washington State, like, who knows? I would guess he is in Florida, but like nobody can tell.
Videos, and you might not be aware of what is in the surroundings behind you because you're focusing on that picture that you want to take.
Yeah.
But a lot of these people went back and looked into these things, and that's when they found a video, or they found a picture, or they remember something. The same thing can apply here.
Problem is, we don't know where. Again, it goes back to the same problem we had last time. It could be anywhere. They had such a head start because they didn't pick up the phone, so they got up.
Which is why everyone needs to pay attention.
Yeah.
Right. North Carolina authorities are investigating calls that Brian is hiding on the Appalachian Trail. Do you think he's capable of doing that?
Yeah, some of the trips that they took before this, they did camp and hike along the Appalachian Trail, especially in that region. They're very familiar with that area. And that was one of the things that we kind of worried about before this trip was in the Appalachian Trail. So you always hear different stories about things that happen there and how really desolate it is in certain areas. And that was always a concern of ours.
She always came home safe.
She
She'd go
always
for
came
3
home
or 4
safe.
days, and then they'd come home and they were
But
fine.
they are familiar. He is familiar
He's
with
very
that area.
familiar with it, yes.
If he's watching this and stranger things have happened, what would you say to him if he's watching this right this minute?
This is where I should wash my mouth, right?
Turn yourself in.
Turn yourself in.
Turn yourself
Turn
in.
yourself in.
Turn yourself in.
Why?
We want to know the truth.
Because if you truly loved her, you should turn.
Come on, if he loved her, he couldn't have slapped her and bruised her like in this video we saw. He never loved her. He was like controlling. He wanted something from her. These people go into relationships to get something for themselves. They don't plan to give anything else out to this person. They just want to take control, abuse, you know. He had zero feelings.
Turn yourself in.
You're only making it worse for us and for himself and for his family. Let us have some closure. Let us come to an end to this tragic period and just move on and be able to remember Gabby for all the wonderful memories we had with her and not looking at a TV screen every day wondering if he's going to be found. Just turn yourself in.
That's damn good advice. And Brian, if you're listening to me right now, let me tell you something. You may have done the wrong thing then. Do the right thing now, because you're not helping yourself at this point. You are alienating more people, and when you're in a hole, stop digging. They're not going to stop looking at you. I got a big platform and a big mouth, and I am not letting this go away. I don't care what your mother's telling you. I don't care what your lawyer's telling you. Do the right thing and turn yourself in right now. Fair enough?
Well said.
Yes.
Better than I could say.
He can't change what he did back in Wyoming, but he can change his actions now.
Exactly. And that can have an effect. Can't give you Gabby back, but it can change the course of where you go from here.
And we got a plan for that.
You all got a tattoo to honor Gabby.
Several, actually.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that a little bit. Let's share that with. And I see here that you've all got on your arm, "Let it be."
Yeah.
So let's talk about this one first. Why "Let it be"?
It's kind of like her slogan, you know. She's a big Beatles fan, and you know, she tried not to harp on things, you know, like, all right.
And that's exactly where she had it on her.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's where she had all of them were
Where
her
she had them.
tattoos. You know, she kind of designed like the little wave and the triangle with the flowers.
Yeah, that one right here. Yeah, she had this one on her, and she designed this one. She was an amazing artist, so.
And tell me about this.
She drew it.
triangle
She drew
with
it.
Flowers.
Yeah, she drew it.
She drew it.
She
That was her.
wanted something, she wanted to start getting arm tattoos, so she sat and she just doodled until she found something she liked, and I said, "That's the one, that's pretty," and she got it.
She actually, before she left on her trip, bought a tattoo machine.
I bought her a tattoo
We
machine.
bought it for her. And I wasn't too quick to let her try on me, but our son was like, "Yeah, go for it." And he actually got a tattoo.
18,
He's
so.
18. You know, so it was his like graduation present from his sister. And he likes to camp and hike and stuff. And so she put a little tattoo on his leg with mountains and a tent. And it's something for him to always have for his
Basically
sister.
like her last piece of artwork, and he has it on his body.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
Literally on his body,
special is
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
And he'll never touch that. I mean, I got the one on the hand because apparently I talk a lot with my hand, you know, and I see it and just keep thinking of her, you know. So this is the one that she had right where she had it.
You guys don't blame yourselves and play the what if game because you can't see around corners and you couldn't do anything about it if you did. When she goes 18, parents become advisors, not directors. When they're 16, you can say do A, B, and C. When they become 18 in one day, you can say you might consider this, but you can't tell her what to do or not do.
You're still gonna do it.
Well, that's exactly.
You can try.
You're still gonna say to yourself the what ifs, if you know it's. But if you focus on that, I think we talked about it. It's a dark hole, you know.
Yeah.
Focus on the positive stuff and changes you can make and good that you can bring into the world for everybody. That's the light at the end of the tunnel that can bring you back.
Yeah. Yeah, but parents just can't blame themselves. We raise these children up. We hope they make the right decisions. And a lot of these abusers, these narcissistic, self-absorbed, they're pros. They're smooth. They're good. And it's hard to see it. They don't show you what they show their victims behind closed doors. It's real hard to see sometimes. So I hope you guys don't, and I hope parents at home don't blame themselves when they don't see all of these things because they're just not obvious.
If you knew Gabby,
Yeah, but I don't know, to me, since I saw so many men and everything, once I saw Brian, I was like, that's an iffy guy, you know. Once I saw his picture, I was like, he looked like a narcissistic, autistic, something. I don't know, I didn't like him at first, right away. So, you know, yeah, I didn't like him right away. Maybe if he didn't see it, but once I saw especially this police video, oh my god, I couldn't stand him. He had this bad manipulative, I wouldn't even call it smooth, maybe over people, like the guy that talks so much, like cocky guy, you know, laughing so much, like not trustworthy at all.
She was always a pretty happy girl. People would gravitate towards her. You know, her nature was always to smile and treat everybody kind. She always made people feel welcome. Growing up, I mean, she always had those blue eyes, right? Those ridiculous blue eyes. You couldn't keep her in trouble. Like, you would ground her, and she'd start crying. She always wanted to go out and do stuff, whether it was scuba diving or hiking the Appalachian Trail, surfing sand dunes in Colorado. Gabby is the most amazing person I've ever met. So if you're gonna leave here today, I'm asking that you guys be inspired by the way she treated people. All people. Love knows no bounds. She didn't care. She genuinely loved people. It didn't matter. So when you leave here today, be inspired by what she brought to the table. Because the entire planet knows this woman's name now.
Yeah, that's so hard to... It's really hard to see what this family went through because of this disgusting psychopath. Like, so yeah, I don't think there are any more details. I'm afraid he will never be found. So I almost started crying, you know. Oh my god, in this his sister's interview, like, she said, oh, I didn't know where she was, like, really, you never talked about her. Come on, don't lie, you know. Well, I hope he... I really don't want him to die. I want him to be found, questioned, see his questioning tape. I wonder what his excuse would be. I really wonder. Probably he would accuse her like, she was beating me up. Definitely not. Please write in the comments, maybe you would like me to cover some other cases of missing people or something. I would be very interested in doing that. Because I don't know if this case leads somewhere. His sister finally talked, and Brian is still not found. Like, I don't know. I really don't think he will ever be found, because he is definitely not going to turn himself in, and his parents neither, so I just hope they raise the reward for like 1 million. Maybe then his opportunist parents are going to give him to the authorities, but still don't think so. Awful people, I just have no words. But so yeah, thanks for watching, and we will meet in another video of mine. Please leave comments, share if you want, and have a great day.